Hello fellow ARK survivors, this is Makushin here, and once again we are back to talk about an animal in ARK. Today we're going to cover the Quetzalcoatlus, or the Quetzal as most of us know. Now the Quetzal is big, it's one of the biggest animals in game, and is most certainly the biggest flyer in game. Its primary role is to transport mass amounts of quantities throughout the island, and also to do some taming jobs, of which we have done with our Quetzal on the left behind me. Now, the Quetzal is big by this game's standards. Once again, ARK has decided to buff up an animal to an appropriate size that they believe will do the job. The real-life Quetzal, which lived approximately 68 million years ago and is the biggest flying animal that's ever existed. Early estimates of this animal's size were anywhere from a 16-foot wingspan, which is almost the width of a World War II fighter plane. Now, in recent times they've modified this down, and it is still a 10-meter wingspan, which still makes it the biggest flying animal that has ever existed. It is also among the heaviest. It is approximately 440 kilograms based on one study that was done quite recently. Now, in ARK, there are two different ways to run the Quetzalcoatlus. The one on my right, as you see, does not have a platform saddle. He is there merely to get people around the island. He gets them there quickly. He can also carry animals to go on trips, say mining or collection. Now, we have tested this as well, and the Quetzal is very good if you pick up a friend who's on Mammoth and you fly through a forest. He will collect a lot of wood and do it very safely. This can be done in any situation and a lot safer than in most. Now, the Quetzal on my left, which Shane is currently on right now, has a platform saddle, as you can see. The platform saddle allows us to build structures on top of the Quetzal. You could literally have a flying base, and if you want to be entirely nomadic, you could literally be a nomad on the back of these magnificent animals. Now, our one is spec'd up to do taming. As you can see, it has a large platform and a second area for the driver to be protected. Yesterday we used this to tame the Giganotosaur that you saw in another video. Now, primarily these animals are meat eaters, we've established this. Older studies suggested this thing was a fish eater, but recently they decided that couldn't be possible. The animal would not be able to fly over the ocean and could sustain its mass. So instead, they believe that it is now a scavenger, that it merely went over dry land and looked down and looked at dead corpses. Now, the Quetzal in ARK is a good fighter. We are surprised by this because in its dossier it says that it is not a good warrior. Now, in PvP this may be true, because auto turrets could shoot it out of the sky absolutely no problem, but a lot of us have used it to deep strike people. I have personally ran a couple of my tribe mates off the back of this thing and let them parachute down to an enemy base. Now, that's one idea with the Quetzal. The other idea is that it is just a flyer, and it gets people around, it gets animals around to bases quickly, and it transports a lot of gear around. And we are now going to show what a Quetzal in flight looks like. Now, you can see it has a really heavy wing beat. This is absolutely understandable because this animal is large. Now, realistically, this animal would not have flapped quite so heavy in real life, mainly because it would not have the strength of wing. It would more likely glide through the warm currents that it lived at its time, which again is 68 million years ago, so it would approximately be towards the end of the age of dinosaurs. Now, being the biggest flying animal on Earth, it has a lot of weight, therefore it needs a lot of food to sustain its mass. They theorize that this thing would eat dead animals that it would find on the ground, and would probably do it in a communal setting. Now, the Quetzal is powerful, once again. It can carry vast amounts of equipment, and often we consider this thing to be literally a flying Bronto, and it is extremely powerful, and it is a very good fighter, despite its dossier saying otherwise. Now, for all those who would like to go get a Quetzal, like so many of the big animals in ARK, it does use narcotic quite heavily. I believe we used roughly about 300 to get our Quetzals respectively, and they were low level, especially I believe one was level 3 and one was level 15 when we first got them. But they are nonetheless a very, very useful animal to build. They are extremely useful when it comes to taming, actually, because they can carry large amounts of supplies very safely along to areas. And if any of you want to go after a Giganotosaur like we did a few days ago, it is an incredibly useful tool for keeping outside of that massive jaw. Now, colours are speculatory. You can essentially colour this thing to whatever you want to. We did not change this one, we luckily found it blue, and originally it had lightning bolts, but some of us decided that we didn't like them, so we're off. Now, as you see, we are currently sprinting, and Shane has absolutely no problem staying on board. Now, this thing can move quickly. It can move quicker than an Argent, which, again, surprised a lot of us because the Argent seemed to have lost its niche in the role of the game. It was originally the carrier, or the fighter of the flies. This thing can roughly outfight it and outcarry it, and I believe I've just doomed Shane. And, as I will show you, you can pick people up without any problem. Now, the Quetzal can carry just about everything up into and including the Mammoth, which makes it an incredibly excellent animal for making bases. All you have to do is pick up your animals, carry them to a new location, and build your structures as appropriate. The Quetzal does have a limit on its platform saddle. It can only carry 40 structures. The one that I have on this actually is very close to that. I believe I cannot put another item on this, merely because I would go over this limit. And this is much lower than most of the platform saddle animals that we have on the ARK. Now, running out of things to say, my thoughts of this animal are it's absolutely fantastic. It has absolutely no problems, and it is a remarkably good fighter. It can kill medium-sized animals, absolutely no problem, as you can see. Its role for me is more a heavy scout. It can go for long periods of time. I can dismount while I'm flying and it regains stamina in the air, so you literally would never have to touch down. And it's extremely useful when it comes to coordinating the tribe. When it comes to PvP, you can send guys off the back with their parachutes and deep strikes into a new base with their C4s and assault rifles, and cause havoc at will. This has been Mercutian. Have a good day.
Yeah,
so this is the next exploit that we discovered.
Really, yeah. Oh,
and he's straight off the back.
Help!
Oh, I think he's going to be food. Yep, and there you go. So do be cautious, guys. If you do decide to go up a ladder while your friend is flying Quetzal, it'll get you murdered.